Hey collectors and curious minds! Welcome back to Old Charles, the place where coins tell stories and history comes alive. Today, we're diving into one of Australia's most iconic coins, the 1976 20-cent piece. Is it just pocket change, or could it be worth more than you think? Let's find out. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in Australia in 1966, when the country switched from the pound system to decimal currency. But in 1976, something interesting happened. A slight drop in mintage made that year's coin just a little more collectible. The reverse of the coin features Australia's semi-aquatic mammal, the platypus, beautifully engraved by sculptor Stuart Devlin. It's dynamic and fluid, just like the water the platypus swims through. The obverse, of course, features Queen Elizabeth II, based on the Arnold Machin portrait. In 1976, the Royal Australian Mint produced just over 47.5 million of these 20-cent coins. That might sound like a lot, but it's significantly fewer than some earlier years, like 1966, which saw over 50 million coins minted. So, while it's not super rare, it's one of the lower mintage years for regular circulation 20-cent coins. This makes uncirculated or high-grade specimens more desirable to collectors. Alright, let's talk money. If you've got a circulated 1976 20-cent coin, it's typically worth face value, 20 cents. But condition is everything. A high-grade uncirculated coin could be worth between $5 and $20, depending on luster, scratches, and whether it's been stored properly. If it's certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, and has a top-tier grade like MS65 or higher, it might fetch even more. And here's the kicker. Error coins can be worth even more. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks from 1976 can sell for $50 to $150, depending on severity and demand. If you're wondering whether your 1976 20-cent coin is valuable, here's what to look for. More shine usually means better condition. Clean surfaces boost value. Well-struck details are more collectible. These are rare, so inspect carefully. Having your coin graded can legitimize and increase its value. While the 1976 20-cent coin isn't rare by any means, it's a great entry point for new collectors. It's affordable, historic, and has that classic Devlin design collectors love. And who knows? With time, prices may rise, especially for pristine or error examples. So, what's in your pocket? Next time you come across a 1976 20-cent coin, take a second look. It might not buy much at the store, but in the collector's world, it could be worth a lot more. The 20-cent coin was introduced in 1966 as part of Australia's switch from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to decimal currency. It replaced the florin, a coin that was worth 2 shillings, and quickly became a common denomination in everyday use. By 1976, Australia was a decade into decimalization. The economy was modernizing, and coinage was being refined in design and production. That year, the 20-cent coin still featured the same reverse design as in 1966, a sleek, swirling platypus created by master engraver Stuart Devlin, who was also responsible for designing many of Australia's circulating coins. Devlin's design captured the unique essence of Australia's native wildlife. The platypus, with its unusual shape and aquatic nature, became an instantly recognizable symbol of the coin. On the obverse, the coin featured the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, based on a sculpture by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on Australian coinage from 1966 to 1984 and was one of the most widely reproduced images of the Queen during her reign. In 1976, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra struck just over 47.5 million 20-cent coins. While that may seem like a large number, it was actually one of the lower mintages of the 1970s for this denomination, which makes the 1976 issue slightly more sought after by collectors today, especially in high grades. Though not tied to any major political or economic event, the 1976 20-cent coin is a fascinating piece of Australia's numismatic history, a small window into the everyday life and evolving identity of the nation during the 1970s. The 1976 Australian 20-cent coin is part of a series that has been circulating since the country adopted decimal currency on February 14, 1966. This transition marked a significant shift from the British-based pound system, pounds, shillings, and pence, to the decimal system, dollars and cents, modernizing Australia's economy and simplifying everyday transactions. when decimal currency was introduced, the 20-cent coin took the place of the old florin, which was worth 2 shillings. The new coin retained a similar size and silver-colored appearance, which helped ease the transition for the public. From the beginning, the reverse, tails, of the 20-cent coin has featured a stylized image of the platypus, an iconic Australian animal known for its duck-like bill and aquatic nature. The design was created by Stuart Devlin, a renowned Australian goldsmith and jeweler who was later appointed as the official goldsmith to Queen Elizabeth II. Devlin's artwork gives the platypus a sense of motion and fluidity, surrounded by swirling water, a modern, elegant design that stands out in Australian coinage. This same reverse design was used continuously from 1966 through to the late 1990s and beyond. On the obverse, heads, the coin displays the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as sculpted by Arnold Machin, a British artist. This portrait was widely used on Commonwealth coinage from the 1960s through the early 1980s and is one of the most recognizable images of the Queen in the numismatic world. The 1976 issue of the 20-cent coin was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. That year, approximately 47,552,000 coins were produced. While this number is not extremely low, it is notably less than the mintage figures from many other years in the 1970s, which makes the 1976 coin slightly more collectible today, particularly in mint or uncirculated condition. Unlike commemorative or limited edition coins, the 1976 20-cent was a regular circulation issue, meaning it was produced for everyday use. No special variants or designs were issued for that year. In 1976, Australia was navigating economic challenges including inflation and changes in leadership. Malcolm Fraser had recently become Prime Minister in 1975, and the country was experiencing shifts in both domestic policy and global positioning. While the coin itself wasn't directly tied to any major national event, it remains a tangible artifact from this transformative period in Australia's modern history.